fix this team?
Well, the first thing I want to say is this. I got a real problem with that ejection on the part of Rudy Gobert. First of all, giving him a foul on a jump ball to start 1 second into the game, that's just ridiculous, number one. Number two, the man swiped a paper cup off the scorer's table. Give him a technical foul, but to eject him from a game, to me, I mean, damn, people are paying to watch the players play. Not to say they should get away with anything, but you certainly should need more than that before you're getting ejected from a game. Having said all of that, to get back to Houston, it's very, very simple to me. Houston needs to do everything it can. Daryl Morey and those boys need to get on the phone, get Trevor Ariza back from the Phoenix Suns. Get him back in Houston. He's on a one-year deal at $15 million. Get him back. The Suns are not going anywhere. They're 4-21. They're awful. We get that. DeAndre Ayton and those boys, Bookers, bottom line is they're not relevant. Go back and get Trevor Ariza, all right, to have him with P.J. Tucker and Clint Capella on your front line so you elevate yourself exponentially on the defensive side of the ball. If you pull that off, it will give you more offensive opportunities, all right? And I'm going to sit there and say that that's what they need to do. I wouldn't mind them getting Luke and Mute as well. Get the team that you had last year. And in terms of why they don't have it this year, Max, I'm going to say this. I gotta point the finger at my man CP3. I really do, and here's why. You get hurt in Game 5, no fault of your own, just an injury. Max, you on the record talking about how CP3 were healthy, they might have won it all. You signed for $160 million in offseason. It couldn't have been 150, so you can make sure you keep Trevor Ariza. You couldn't have done something. I mean, you didn't have to grab it all.
Do you think that was presented to him?
No, I'm saying I think it was a foregone conclusion that he was going to get that money before he even arrived. I understand it. I'm just saying, if CP3 is worth the dollars when he's healthy, no question. I'm just simply saying monetarily, as you talk on many occasions, Max, the cap is the cap or what have you. Prioritizing keeping that team intact, that should have happened here.
I disagree. I think that at this point, the way you fix the Rockets is to tear it down. Tear it all down. And the reason I say that, Stephen A., is because I don't believe this nucleus will ever win a championship. I thought they would have won the championship last year, and I predicted they would around the middle of the season had CP3 been healthy. I use as evidence the fact that they were at home. CP3 did not play in that game. I mean, that team is built around two central figures. One of them didn't play. And then on top of that, and maybe because of that, because CP3 is the emotional leader of the team, they couldn't throw it into the ocean. It was the worst shooting performance from three in a big game I have ever seen by a team that lives and dies from the three. It's one thing to say that, well, if you keep shooting them, you may have a cold night. But what was it? 1 for 30 at one point, 0 for 27, something like that. It was the worst. And they still only lost by single digits. I think they would have won it all. But that was their opportunity.
Well, they lost out on Jimmy Butler, too, Stephen. I remember they were
Ariza left. Hold on. Ariza left. It's not just, you know who they need? They need Ariza and, Danny Green. Had they pulled off the trade for Kawhi and Danny Green, maybe they could win it this year. That didn't happen. The ship has sailed. This group has gone as far as they'll ever go. They're never going to go farther.
Max, let me address your exact point. Here's why I disagree with you. Only because of timing. And hear me out. No matter what happens to them this year, your tradable asset pretty much is a Clint Capella, a James Harden. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
After this season, they're still tradable. So if you know that you're going to have them, right? My point is you do everything you can to go for it. If last year you won 65 games with this team, it's safe to assume that if you had kept the team intact, you'd win 50 to 53 games. If you win 50 to 53 games, the likelihood is that's good enough to be a number 2 seed, and the likelihood is that you'd have home court advantage until the conference finals. My point is that there's nothing wrong with what you're saying, but there's also nothing wrong with me suggesting that the team should have stayed intact and you go for it with this bunch, because whoever's tradable now will be tradable in the offseason going into next season.
I think there's wisdom in that. I would say I liken this, though, to a version of of the Jaguars, a version of it, where Tom Coughlin now says, hey, you know, we almost made it to the Super Bowl, and so of course you're going to keep that team intact.
Yeah.
And this team doesn't have a fatal flaw like a Blake Bortles at quarterback. This team had two great quarterbacks, so you can understand the sensible conclusion, we're going to make another run for it. But we all saw what happened. We all smelled the same thing. That was their best shot. They missed the opportunity. It was unfortunate. It was bad luck. Try again, maybe in a new way. This is not going to overtake the Golden State Warriors.
They tried to get Jimmy Butler, and I said this last time. What if they got Bradley Beal? They could get the job done.